Are there any processed foods that you think, you'd kind of put in that acceptable category? Because we tend to say, well, all food is processed unless you're eating it right off the tree or, right out of the field and stuff. But
Yeah.
when we talk processing, where do you kind of draw the line? This is kind of considered healthy? This is not considered healthy?
Yeah, so I mean, there is all food, like you said, is minimally processed or somewhat processed in just how they are. But there's a big difference between processed food and then ultra processed food, and that's where we're seeing the highest consumption is right now, and especially in the American diet and now across the world. And those are going to be the foods that essentially are processed to the point to increase shelf stabilization and to make it so they don't go bad. I don't remember who told me this, but they said that they got some advice from a different health provider that they said if you buy your food and your food doesn't go bad within a week or two, it means that it's probably very processed and it's probably not good for you. And I think there's some truth to that, especially when it comes to some fruits and vegetables and things like that we buy. Those are meant to go bad within a certain amount of time. When they're more processed, they're not going to. And so I think that does have a good kind of place, but also at the same time too, when we're talking about ultra processed food, we're talking about food that has been stripped of their natural vitamins and minerals like fiber and other things that are critical to the component of the food in order to increase their shelf life. So now you're consuming calorically dense foods that are nutrient depleted, which can lead to what we have is obesity with malnutrition individuals.
So we're talking like protein powders. Would you consider that? I mean, they're all typically ultra processed, but would you consider that on the healthy side, unhealthy side? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're going to say we should try and get our protein from a natural source first.
Yeah, yeah, 100% of the time, that's what I always say. Try to get your protein from whole foods first. But I do think protein powders do serve a purpose for specific populations. However, you need to be careful whenever you're sourcing anything like that, just because in the processing, there could be additives in there. There can be artificial colorings, flavorings. There can also be heavy metals as well, too. We know plant-based protein powders is one of the highest products with heavy metals in them. So you're trying to do the right thing by reaching your protein sources, but then you're also possibly putting yourself at risk for toxicity for heavy metals. So I think, those things, try to buy them with ingredients that you can read, minimally processed, especially when it comes to proteins and animal-based proteins. We can get them from sources that are not only third-party tested, but also grass-fed, grass-finished animal sources, organic, all those things that help just make it just a higher quality protein. And then when we're doing plant-based proteins, again, making sure that they're third-party tested and that they also come with a variety of different proteins. We know that plant-based proteins are not always complete proteins, so they're missing some of those essential amino acids. So if you're buying a protein powder that's just one specific incomplete protein, you could still be missing out on some very critical amino acids that we need. So making sure that you're buying one that has several different plant-based proteins. I would say when it comes to processed foods, protein powder will be one of those ones that I tend to lean more on and think that are more acceptable for individuals, just because how critical it is to just meet your protein requirements, especially as we're aging, that the risks outweigh, or the benefits outweigh the risk when it comes to protein powders, I would say.